Brunswick is a lively, multicultural suburb just north of Melbourne's central business district, known for its artsy vibe, diverse food scene along Sydney Road, and strong community spirit. Popular with students and creatives, it offers a mix of historical charm, green spaces, and excellent public transport. 52 Hope Street was where widow May Rosser, aged 74, resided in 1990. She had grown up in an orphanage in Brunswick and went on to marry. Sadly, her husband latterly passed away, leaving May heartbroken and alone. The pair did not have any children, however, they raised her nephew and 2 nieces. She was a much-loved member of a large extended family. May was known to be very house-proud and enjoyed visiting the shops with her closest friends. She and her late husband were close to another couple, the Shackletons. Joseph Leslie Shackleton, aged 72, also a resident of Brunswick, was also widowed and a father of 2, to Ian and Elaine. According to the Sydney Morning Herald, Shackleton loved gardening, military bands, and going fishing, and would often chat to everyone he met with a smile on his face. He was described as a very friendly man. Around 1982, 2 years after his wife's death, Joseph, who was more commonly known as either Joe or Les, began dating May Rosser. May had actually known Shackleton's first wife, the two having grown up together at the same orphanage, and latterly both couples were close friends. May and Les found solace and companionship in each other's company, having struggled with the deaths of their respective spouses. May and Les enjoyed spending time together, often going camping and fishing, and visiting each other's families. Between them, they shared 10 grandchildren and were adored by all who knew them. Newspapers from the time reported that the couple were almost inseparable and were devoted to one another. On May 25th, 1990, Les spent most of the day at his residence on Thomas Street before meeting a friend at a local hotel, the Sydney Road Hotel. Les left the hotel at approximately 6 p.m, where he dropped his friend home and headed to May's residence for some dinner and to spend the evening together. That night, at around 9 p.m, May conversed with a relative and made plans to meet with them the following morning. However, rather unusually, she failed to show. Similarly, Les had plans to meet with friends from the Brunswick RSL at a local pub at midday on Saturday the 26th. However, he too failed to make an appearance. On the afternoon of May 26th, a concerned relative visited May's residence on Hope Street in Brunswick, having not heard from her or Les in quite some time. It appeared that neither of them were home. Upon entering the home at around 2 p.m, the relative discovered a significant amount of blood on the back patio, and it was immediately apparent that both the couple and several household items, including pillows and bedspreads, were missing. Their vehicle, a white VK Commodore Vacationer Holden station wagon, was also absent from the driveway. Concerned by what they had found at the residence, the relative immediately reported their disturbing findings to Victoria Police. According to relatives, it was highly irregular for the couple to go anywhere without telling anyone. 2 days later, on the night of May 28th, at around 7:20 p.m, police located the missing vehicle, parked on Hawksburn Road in South Yarra, directly opposite the entrance to Hawksburn Railway Station, after receiving a call from a member of the public regarding a suspicious vehicle that had been parked there for a number of days by this time. Tragically, and more disturbingly, the fully clothed bodies of both May and Les were found inside the boot of the vehicle, covered with blankets, carpets, and trash, which was believed to have come from a construction site. An autopsy confirmed that 72-year-old Les had died from multiple stab wounds, while 74-year-old May had been strangled. Investigators concluded that the couple had been victim to homicide, likely murdered in their home on Hope Street, with their bodies subsequently transported in their car, which was later abandoned in South Yarra. No murder weapon was found at the Hope Street residence, and nothing appears to have been stolen. However, authorities could not establish an obvious motive. Rosser and Shackleton were both adored by their families, friends, and loved by their community, which made their deaths all the more bizarre. Neither May or Les had any known enemies, nor were they involved in any illicit activities. Police believed this to be a case of a bungled burglary. However, the true motive behind their murders remains elusive, and sadly, the perpetrator of this horrific crime has never been caught or brought to justice. Detective Sergeant Wayne Vulture of the Homicide Squad, who described the crime as particularly violent and particularly callous, it's nothing short of horrendous, said of the case, quote, "Over the years, other detectives and myself have explored a lot of reasons and motives behind it. All we can say is that a 72-year-old male living in his own place with his 74-year-old partner, their lives have been taken within their house, and we can't offer an explanation." In November of 2008, after the case was reopened following a cold case review, Victoria Police renewed efforts to solve the case by increasing their initial reward of $100,000 Australian dollars to $250,000 for information leading to the capture and conviction of the assailant or assailants responsible for the deaths of May and Les. It was Victoria Police's hope that the increased reward might entice those with information to come forward, particularly regarding the individual who abandoned the couple's vehicle in South Yarra and anyone who heard or saw anything in or around the Hope Street residence on the evening of the 25th or early hours of May 26th of 1990. Shackleton's son, Ian, spoke at the press conference regarding the increased reward money, stating that he found it hard to look in a mirror because he was remarkably similar to his father. Elaine Grimshaw, Les's daughter, told the Sydney Morning Herald, quote, "I can't understand how somebody could break into a place and do this to two lovely people." According to Ian, her brother, approximately 1,000 people attended the funerals of May and Les. The couple were buried at Faulkner Cemetery. Quote, "To have closure would be fantastic. We would be able to move on. At the moment, we can't," Les's daughter told the Sydney Morning Herald. Sadly, in recent years, no new evidence, leads or tips have come to the fore, leaving this devastating case at a frustrating standstill. 35 years later, both Rosser and Shackleton families, who still struggle to come to terms with the brutality of the crime, continue to seek answers and justice for May and for Les. Those with any information regarding the deaths of May Rosser and Joseph Les Shackleton are urged to contact Crime Stoppers Australia at 1-800-333-000. Even the smallest piece of information could be the key to solving this case.